Atlanta, Georgia is known for a lot of things. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Stacey Abrams, and the haunted Lake Lanier. Yeah, I said it, haunted. If you spend any time in or around Atlanta, you've heard these tales. Eerie accounts of ghostly kayaks floating on the water, a woman with no hands roaming the bridge, unexplainable boating accidents, and of course, the extremely high drowning toll. Even survivors of near drownings claim it was like someone pulled me underwater. That's why many folks will tell you straight up, don't go to Lake Lanier. But here at Black Folklore, we uncover African American stories mysteriously hidden from history. I'm Grant Yanni, and this is Black Folklore. Lake Lanier is a beautiful, serene destination spot, picturesque, just 40 miles outside of Atlanta in Forsyth County, Georgia. Every year, effervescent young people from all over flock to the lake with family and friends. And every year there's a new story added to the folklore. But outside of random freak accidents, there's a legitimate reason why the lake could possibly be haunted. Racism. Settled along the Chattahoochee waters, Forsyth County, Georgia, was once sacred land occupied by the Cherokee Nation. However, from the 1830s to the 1850s, the Indian Removal Act signed by President Jackson forced out about 100,000 natives from their homeland to what is now Oklahoma. By the early 1900s, the Georgia land, was now known as Oscarville, became home to roughly 1,100 black folks, most of whom were freed after fighting in the American Civil War. Many worked as field hands, farmers, carpenters, or performed odd jobs for white residents in the surrounding neighborhoods. They managed to make a decent living for themselves, creating a healthy, thriving community with churches, schools, and small businesses. But all of that would change in September of 1912, when two separate sexual assaults against white women were reported, and the white people in town pointed the fingers at young black men as the alleged culprits. The first incident on September 5th involved 22-year-old Ellen Grice, who claimed two black men tried to rape her. The Forsyth County Sheriff arrested 5 black men for the alleged assault. A week later, on September 12th, 18-year-old May Crow was raped and beaten and found the next morning half naked, bloody, and hidden under a pile of leaves. Searchers would allegedly find a small pocket mirror at the scene of the crime that was said to belong to Ernest Knox, a 16-year-old black boy from Cumming, Georgia. Knox, along with 4 additional black men suspected to be his accomplices, were arrested and taken into custody. As word spread of the attack on Crow, whites became increasingly angry, and a lynch mob of more than 2,000 formed in front of the jailhouse where the boys were being detained. Soon, they stormed the county jail, shooting and killing one boy, Rob Edwards, then dragged his body from the jailhouse and hung him from a telephone pole in the town square. Ernest Knox and Oscar Daniel were both found guilty of the rape of May Crow and sentenced to death by hanging, even though it was illegal by state law at the time. 5,000 whites congregated in the town square of Cumming to watch 2 teenage boys publicly hanged for an alleged crime they never had the opportunity to fight. It was after this hanging that the terror would begin to spread, as a white group of terrorists known as the Night Riders would make their mission to run every black person they came across out of town. Over the short period of just a few years, 98% of Oscarville's black residents would end up either leaving their homes or being murdered for refusal to leave. In little time, the once fully functioning town would be a ghost town. Eventually, pieces of the land were sold to the government, and by 1950, a plan to build Lake Lanier was in full effect. The entire town of Oscarville was intentionally flooded in conjunction with the Beaufort Dam to support the growing demand for a water supply to the nearby cities. So, is Lake Lanier haunted? Like, is it really? Maybe. Maybe it's the culpability of genocide, terror, and hatred for blacks and Native Americans that just hangs in the air. So the next time you think about visiting Lake Lanier, remember, she takes. Some years more than others, but she always takes.